Boy, does it feel so good to be doing a Bears reaction yet again, as Bears football is officially back, baby. Yeah! Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and the 2024 NFL season has begun. You know, it's preseason. Either way it goes, we get football back.
Woo! Football!
And the Bears kick off the preseason with a 21-17 win in a weather delay shortened NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame game against the Houston Texans. And there are a few things that I really want to tackle. There are a few things that I really want to cover despite the starters not playing. So let's just get into this reaction. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, let's just play Captain Obvious at this point. And the first thing that I really want to go over is the new kickoff rule where they're kicking from the 35 and they have a landing zone within like the 20 to the end zone of where the Bears are actually going to, where they're actually going to be receiving the ball, and then they cannot move until the player has actually touched the ball, which is kind of similar to the XFL rule when they introduced that. And I will give my thoughts on that. And to be honest, it looked a little weird at first. I'm not going to lie, especially from we're so used to the traditional NFL kickoffs. We're so used to the traditional way of doing things that it did look, I want to say, a bit weird to see a bit of a change in that. But honestly, I'm open to the change if we can get just some kickoff returns where it could change field position, and we have our Hall of Famer Devin Hester going in, and we all know the things that he did. And I do like the rule. I will say this. I do like the whole kickoff thing. I do like the setup. I do like the fact that we're actually going to get some returns instead of being 50 million touchbacks, and we kick it in, we know it's going to be a touchback. We know it started from 30. I do like the fact that it can change field position. I do like the fact that you can start to get more returns. You can start to get some more electrifying plays from the game of the kickoff. And it's interesting to see how teams are going to approach this, as this was our first look at it in a live NFL game. Even though it's preseason, it's a live look at what can possibly be the future of the NFL kickoff, as this is a one-year experiment at this point. But at the end of the day, I think this might have a chance to stay. I do like where it is. I do like what it can potentially mean for field position and what teams are going to do to approach the rule. How are they going to do it? So I do like this from this standpoint. You guys leave your thoughts about the kickoff rule in the comments down below. I love to see them. But to start this game, defensively, the Bears looked shaky, to be honest. Defensively, even though we all know no starters played either side of the ball for either team, no starters played, the Bears' second, third unit, whatever it was, or whatever you can call it, it looked a bit shaky, especially within the first few drives. It did not look good. It did not look good. But honestly, I wasn't expecting but only so much. I wish it looked a little bit better. There were a bunch of coverage lapses where Davis Mills was taking advantage of it. And the running game for the Texans was kind of getting going early. So we're talking about some struggles coming out of the gate for the Bears, second and third unit defensively. And towards the game went on, it did get better. They were being more physical. They were getting some big-time plays. They were making some stops. So I think they caught a bit of a rhythm, especially with Matt Eberflus calling plays with Eric Washington's influence in live game action, I started to feel that once the game kind of played itself out, I think they started to get a rhythm of what they wanted to do schematically as far as the defensive side of the ball actually looked. So there are some improvements to be made defensively. I still think there's room to grow, but this is the first preseason game, so I take a lot of it with a bit of a grain of salt because we see a lot of these guys they're not the number ones, and they will probably get times if injuries, anything like that happens. So I did expect just a tad bit more, but nonetheless, the defensive unit for the Bears, they started to make some plays, force some punts, some 3-and-outs. I did see a lot that I liked, but I also see some improvements as far as coverage lapses, communication goes. But either way it goes, it is a good thing that things started to get better as the game went along, so I'm not really too mad at it. But offensively, and you guys, if you guys watched a lot of my things last year, I became a big fan of what Roschon Johnson could do. I'm actually a bit surprised that Khalil Herbert actually saw some action, but it is interesting to see that. I think they're probably kind of looking at that running back number 2 battle between him and Johnson. As we all know, DeAndre Swift is probably going to carry the heavier of the load within this Bears running game, but it was a bit interesting to see Khalil Herbert play, and Roschon actually got the earlier looks over Khalil, even though I think Khalil Herbert is still a very solid back. It's interesting to see that they gave Roschon the early looks. He gave the starter looks with the unit that was out there in the first string for this particular game in question. But I do like what I seen from Johnson, that he was utilized a lot early. The drive ended up stalling, but at the end of the day, I do like what I seen from Roschon Johnson. I wish the offensive line, which is offense, let's just say this, I will say this. Offensive units, in whether there's camps, I think offensively, especially with a brand new offense, especially with Shane Waldron, brand new, the entire offensive staff brand new, a lot of new pieces. Offensively, and I know this from even my high school days, it was always like this, and speaking with other former players, it's always like this. It always takes a little bit longer for offenses to really start to get things together, especially when they're having brand new schemes. We see the Texans have a little bit of things together, but they're in the second year of their offense. So a lot of these guys on the Texans, they were used to that offense. The Bears, everything is brand spanking new. Players, coaches, everything is brand new. So I think getting some of that in live game action and for them to start having some hits and quicks and jails, it's gonna take some time. So I wasn't really one that was too upset or anything that some stuff didn't get going. It's just, I think that just what comes with the territory of everything just kind of like brand new and steady. But we're talking about the second string quarterback of today was Brett Rippon and Colin Johnson. Those two look like they had a chemistry. It almost looked like that. You always have that preseason star. Like a couple of years ago, I think it was Adams. If I want to be right, I cannot remember. I think it was Adams, and I don't remember his name, but Rodney Adams. I think Rodney Adams, and he had that breakout preseason, and it looks kind of similar to that. As it's like we're seeing some of that preseason type of magic from Brett Rippon and Colin Johnson, and getting 3 touchdown passes out of Rippon to help us actually secure the win, even though it was rather shortened. But I did like what I seen from Colin Johnson. I forgot he was 6'6". I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the guy was 6'6". And Brett Rippon, he does have that NFL lineage in his name. So, and a lot of people I saw on Twitter was talking about the quarterback 2 battle. I don't know. Of course, Bears Twitter is a thing. Bears Twitter is just, it's all over the place. Because we had Bears Twitter last year said that Tyson Badger should have been started over Fields, for Christ's sake. And we all know how that went. And I like Tyson Badger. I like some of the things he can do. He did come in and he played well when he had his opportunities last year. But I was looking to see a little bit more from him, but he didn't really have a length of a goal. They had Brett Rippon have more of the reps. I was interested to see what Austin Reed did, because I seen Austin Reed when he played against Ohio State last year when he was at Western Kentucky, and he looked solid against Ohio State. I want to see what he would have done, but oddly enough, and obviously it was cut short due to the weather delay, but I do like some things that I'm seeing from Shane Waldron in this Bears offense. You do see some things that you can see schematically that he can get done, and the interesting thing is a lot of people were saying that, and I even heard Troy Aikman say on the broadcast he wished he would have seen Caleb Williams play. You got to remember, these two teams play each other week 2 of the regular season. So I don't think either coach was trying to really show their hand, but only so much, because in about a month or so, they have a real live game Sunday Night Football action against each other. So I think benching the starters was actually kind of expected from each side. Not really showing a bit of a hand from each side was a bit of expected. It would have been different if these two teams didn't play each other at all throughout the course of the regular season, but it's not only for them to play in the regular season, but they play in week 2, so it's extremely early. Neither coach is going to show their hand. But I wish we could have got a little bit more of the game, but Mother Nature happened. Bears get a preseason win, 21-17, Canton, Ohio, which I'm more happy for McMichael. I'm more happy for Hester and Peppers, even though he only spent a bit of a time in his career with a Bears uniform. And you guys may not know Andre Johnson, one of my personal favorite wide receivers of all time. And Patrick Willis was a dog on that football field. I didn't really get to see Grandishar really so much. And he was a Buckeye, so shout out to him. So either way it goes, the Bears get a win. We get a Hall of Fame ceremony this coming Saturday, which I cannot wait to see. But either way it goes, Bears win to start the preseason 21-17 against the Houston Texans Hall of Fame game. You guys will get more reactions like this. And before I check out, I will be reacting to every episode of Chicago Bears Hard Knocks Training Camp on HBO. So stay tuned for that. I will be reacting to the first episode, which is Tuesday, August 6th. I can't wait for that. I know you guys are probably going to be watching, and you're going to get my reaction to every episode. But either way it goes, it's not much to talk about because we didn't get the full game, but I am signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.